mastering your mindset in 2025. That is our goal as we step into this new year. I'm a firm believer in order for us to be successful at whatever we're aiming to accomplish, you got to master your mindset. In fact, if you pay attention to your challenges and ultimately your life, that is what is under attack on a constant basis. It's your mindset, your mentality, your state of mind, your focus, the perspective that you have is constantly under attack. And if we're not careful, we could succumb to the situations and circumstances that we find ourselves in. We could succumb to rejection and failure and mistakes that we make and start to feel discouraged and disappointed in ourselves, or on a worst case level, we can start to feel defeated and therefore we're no longer determined to create progress towards the things that we're working for. So it's very important for us to master our mindset as we're taking steps towards the goals that we have set for the new year. And again, today, I want to highlight the things that we could begin to do that will assist us in mastering our mindset and making progress towards what it is that matters in our life. To begin the conversation, family, comment below, master your mindset. I want to make sure we're on the same page with that. That's our goal, to master our mindset, not only today, the entire week, but this entire year, the year of 2025. Tanisha, I see you in the building. Great day to you. Now, on a fundamental level, the key for you and me and every single one of us to master our mindset in 2025 boils down to us controlling the controllables. Say that with me. I may not be able to hear you, but I want to feel your energy this morning. I've got to control the controllables. In fact, comment below that statement as well. Control the controllables. That's our goal. Focus on what you can control. How much stress have you caused for yourself by focusing on things that you can't control, trying to control the things that you have no control over? It's like you're running in circles or on a hamster wheel and you're exerting a lot of energy and all your attention is being directed towards things that you truly cannot control. It's a frustrating experience, but to release yourself from that agony, what you must do is to understand what you can control and direct your energy, your time, your efforts, and all of your resources towards focusing on those things. There's three things that we each have control of every single day, regardless of the situation or the circumstance that you find yourself in. And if we can focus on these three things, I promise you from a living experience, this will help you master your mindset. The first thing that you can control every single day are the thoughts that you allow to influence you. The second, if you're taking notes, write this down, is the perspective that you have. Then the third is ultimately the actions that you take once you gather all of that information. If you don't like what it is that you're experiencing, then ultimately what you have to do is change your response. And your response is built up in what you allow to influence you from a mental perspective, the perspective that you have ultimately, and then the actions that you take. Now, let's briefly summarize this, family. We can't control everything, right? I'm a firm believer that ultimately, if you can focus on your response more than what happens in your life, you'll be more effective. Because what's that old quote that says life is 90% of how you respond and 10% of what's happening in your life? I believe we focus so much on what's happening rather than focusing on how we're going to respond to certain situations and circumstances to rise above the situation at hand. So with the first understanding of the thing that we can't control, the thoughts that you allow to influence you, let me preface this by saying, I'm not saying you can control every single thought that runs through your mind. No, we have about 50,000 thoughts that run through our mind on any given day. We cannot control every single one of those thoughts. Now, I may not be able to control every single thought that runs through my mind, but what I can do is I can stop those negative thoughts from controlling me because I can control which thoughts I allow to influence me, right? You get to decide which thoughts you're going to allow mental consent within your consciousness. You get to decide which thoughts are going to take real estate within your consciousness. You have that power. Make sure you're thinking on thoughts, or your thoughts are aligned, so to speak, with your goals, your vision, your purpose, and the life that you're aiming to experience. Be intentional about stimulating positive thoughts. That's why we have this gratitude practice every time we go live on this broadcast. It's stimulating positive thoughts. It's directing your focus towards the things that stimulate positive emotions. And ultimately, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And you create momentum with that energy. So if I focus on something positive and I keep that same focus, it's going to stimulate positive emotions that build momentum towards possibilities and opportunities. And this is all dictated by me understanding that I can control which thoughts I allow to influence me. The second one, family, is the perspective that you have. What's that old saying? You can see the glass half full or half empty. You can either find the difficulty in the opportunity, or you can find the opportunity in the difficulty, right? You can find the struggle in the challenge, right? Or you can find the strength in the struggle. It's all a matter of perspective. Nothing changes your life more than your perspective. Two people can experience the exact same thing and have completely different experiences, all because of how they looked at the situation. Train your mind to find the value in everything that you experience. Train your mind to seek out solutions. Train your mind to seek out possibilities and new opportunities. If you maintain an effective perspective, your experiences will be completely different, all because of what you're looking at. Your perspective is key. Then lastly, number 3, the third thing that you can control are the actions that you take. The actions that you take. Remember, it's not enough for us to just think our way into acting differently. We have to act our way into thinking differently. This is what leads to lasting change and transformation. Therefore, when it comes to our actions, every single morning, I encourage you to remind yourself of what it is that you want. Deepen the clarity that you have around your goals and the vision for your life. And as you see this vision in your mind, be intentional and be diligent about aligning your actions with your vision, your purpose, and your goals. Ask yourself this very simple question: is what I'm going to do today going to support the life that I'm aiming to experience or create? Make sure that every single day you're taking steps in the direction of the life that you're aiming to build for yourself. You're in control of that. You get to choose how you're going to act, how you're going to show up, how you're going to respond to the situations at hand, because you carry that power. As we wrap up this conversation and conclude this broadcast, again, the key to you mastering your mindset in 2025 is you focusing on controlling the controllables, the things that you can control. And one thing, or 3 things rather, that you can control every single day. Number 1 are the thoughts that you allow to influence you. Number 2 is the perspective that you have. And then number 3 are the actions that you take. If you're unsatisfied with your current results, change your response. Upgrade your thinking pattern. Shift your perspective. Take on a new approach. Act differently. Act in alignment with what it is that you're aiming to experience. Kevin, I see you in the building. It said respond versus react. Real quick, the difference between the two of those is this, family. When I react to situations and circumstances, I'm allowing my emotions to make my decisions for me. Think about that for a moment. How many of us have ever been guilty of that? You allowed your anger to get the best of you, and you acted outside of your character. You allowed your frustration to overwhelm you, and you acted outside of your personality, right? We've all been there. In some cases, we've allowed our emotions to overpower our intelligence. And this is what happens when we react to life. But keep in mind, family, we cannot be effective if we develop the pattern of reacting to situations and circumstances. Because again, you're allowing your emotions to make your decisions for you. But the difference between reacting and responding is when I respond to the situation, that doesn't mean the situation isn't difficult to handle. It doesn't mean that the struggle is not real. But when I respond to a situation, I can place mind over matter and make a sound decision that keeps me in alignment with my vision, my purpose, and my goals. think how effective you can be if the decisions that you make on a habitual and consistent basis are in alignment with the life that you're aiming to experience. That's not to say you're not going to experience rejection. It's not to say you're not going to make any mistakes. It's not to say you're not going to fail at certain things that you're working towards. But it's to say, I'm going to get knocked off course, but I'm going to recenter myself. I'm going to align myself with what it is that I'm aiming to experience, because I'm not allowing the situation and how I feel to dictate my next move. The decisions that I make in any given moment are all aligned with what it is that I'm aiming to experience. That's the difference between reacting to situations and responding to them. Your call to action this week, family, is to respond to whatever life throws at you. Respond effectively by controlling those three things that you have control over. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if in fact this is your first time, or maybe your first time in a long time, I want to shout you out at some point in time before we wrap up this broadcast. Be sure to comment below, number 1 in the chat, and then place your first name afterward. Again, put a number 1 in the chat and then place your first name afterward. Michael Hulsey is in the building, my brother from another mother, one of the original dream catchers going all the way back to the Periscope days. Hope all is well with you. Dexter Payne, salute to your brother. Welcome to the broadcast. Shalia Williams is in the building. Great day to you, sis. Glad to have you tapped in live. Again, salute to my brother Kevin Mason Jr. Appreciate you highlighting that insight right there. Tanisha, OMG, walked in on this podcast, and I promise I was about to react to something which would have caused a very negative situation. Place mind over matter, sis, and make a sound decision that keeps you moving forward. You're so very welcome. Again, welcome, Mike. Hope all is well with you. Family, if you guys were picking up what I was putting down during this broadcast, put some fist in the comments below. Let me know that you received what it is that was spoken during today's broadcast. Tanisha, you came right on time. Bless you, sis, for sure. I know how that feels, though. We all can relate to that. Many of us, you may be driving in traffic and somebody cuts you off, and before you know it, you're not responding to what happened. You're reacting, and you cuss that person out, making Shakespeare look like a uneducated fool. The way you put words together, some 4-letter words, and you spice it up a little bit, and you add some emotion to it. Y'all might be laughing at me, but you know I'm telling the truth. Many of y'all have been there. But nonetheless, family, listen, if we have yet to connect on other platforms, be sure to connect with your boy. I'm at D1 Gibson. That includes Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn. Be sure to connect with me on that platform. Also, if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Tap in. That's where all of my long-form content is available. Short films and documentaries, all available on my YouTube channel. That's at youtube.com/David Gibson. Also, check out the website for information on my coaching and speaking services. That's at elevationisAmust.com. And while you are there, be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, where you'll receive mindset tools and success habits and practices that will help you level up your life. That being said, let's wrap this thing up, family. D1, be safe, bro. If you had weather like we did in Ohio, then it's crazy, man. We were right there, brother. I talked about that at the top of the broadcast. The snow is still coming down. Wind chill out there in the teens. But nonetheless, we're going to bring some fire to warm this thing up. But as we do conclude and wrap up this broadcast, family, if you find yourself in a difficult situation or a challenging experience, just remember that this too shall pass. So as we talk about the difference between reacting and responding, to those that may find themselves in a difficult position right now, as you're working towards your goals, as you're aiming to level up, and your back is up against the wall and you feel like quitting, don't make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary circumstance. Don't give up on what you believe in. Don't quit on your goals and your dreams. Don't throw in the towel on yourself, right? I want to encourage you to keep persisting until you succeed. I like that saying, and we talked about this last week, but Les Brown talks about it's not over until I win. I want you to operate with that mindset. It's not over until I succeed. It's not over until I get the victory. It's not finished until I rise above what I'm facing and I come out successful. That's your mindset this week. Yeah, your back may be up against the wall. You may have hit rock bottom. That's a great place to build a new foundation. And I want you to stay determined. I want you to be relentless. In fact, keep in mind, you are unstoppable when you decide to be. Make the executive decision. I'm going to be unstoppable this week. I may experience some no's. I may get rejected. It may not happen the first time I make the attempt, but I'm deciding to continue to move forward by any means necessary. And that's the energy that we want to enter into this week's opportunities with. And if nobody else tells you that they love you today, remember, your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. So spread the love. Let's be ambassadors of positivity and advocates of love. The world needs the love that you possess. Let's encourage the next man or the next woman to put a smile on their face, to hold their head up, and to keep pushing towards their purpose. That's what we're here for, family. As we do conclude and wrap this up, again, I'm hoping that you did find some value. I appreciate each and every single one of you all investing time this morning to tap into the broadcast. We'll be back at it next week, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with another session and broadcast, and ultimately some insights to help us level up our life. But in the meantime, I want to encourage you to be effective, be successful. Let's live with some passion this week. And most importantly, 3 pounds to your chest. 1, 2, 3. Be powerful. I'm your brother from another mother, David Gibson, checking out again. I love each and every single one of you. Have a phenomenal week. Peace. I'm gonna make it. I can see my shot is here, so now I'm gonna take it. Gotta get up, get out, time to stand up, get loud, time to rise up off the floor. And I'm stronger than ever now, can't hold me down no more. I'm waking up, 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 I'm waking up. So I'ma do it right now, yeah, I'ma do it right now.